Here in Northern California, we're surrounded by this incredible buzz of innovation and success, right? But behind that image of achievement, there's often a quiet struggle, one that can go completely unnoticed. Today we're going to pull back the curtain and talk about that hidden side of success.
So let me ask you, does this picture look familiar? You've got the great job, the beautiful home. From the outside, your life looks pretty much perfect. But what if, behind the scenes, there's this reliance on something just to keep all those plates spinning? That's the paradox we're diving into today.
I mean, think about it. In places like Silicon Valley, the culture is just go, go, go. High achievement all the time. You've got business lunches with drinks, networking happy hours, weekend trips to wine country. Regular drinking just feels completely normal, maybe even part of the job.
And this is where things can get really tricky. While everything looks great on the surface, alcohol can slowly shift from being a social thing to being a necessary tool, a tool for managing the immense pressure to perform day in and day out. It's a dependency that builds so silently, right behind that carefully polished image.
Okay, so let's get into what we're actually talking about here. What is functional alcoholism? It's a term you've probably heard thrown around, but what it actually means from a clinical standpoint is often really misunderstood.
So here's the official take on it. We're not just talking about someone who drinks a lot. A functional alcoholic actually meets the medical criteria for something called alcohol use disorder, or AUD. But here's the catch, the thing that makes it so hard to spot. They're still able to keep up with the big parts of their life, their job, their family, their reputation. And this is a big one. It's one of the most common ways people rationalize the issue away. They tell themselves, hey, how can I possibly have a problem? I'm killing it at work. Or, I only drink good wine, not the cheap stuff. These justifications become this powerful shield of denial.
And this is something you've really got to understand. Just because you don't see the visible chaos, no DUIs, no getting fired, it doesn't mean addiction isn't there. Functional alcoholism is a progressive disease. That means it gets worse over time. And that ability to function, to keep all the plates spinning, well, it won't last forever.
Okay, so what should you be looking for? How do you spot this either in yourself or maybe in someone you love? Well, the signs are often subtle, but when you look closely, you can see a consistent pattern starting to form.
First up, tolerance. It's a classic sign. Remember when one glass of wine was all it took to unwind after a long day? Well, now it's 2. Then it becomes 3, maybe even 4. You find yourself needing more and more just to get that same feeling of relaxation.
And then there's this. Alcohol stops being a want and starts becoming a need. It's no longer just for a party or a nice dinner. It becomes the main way you deal with a tough day, an argument, or just that feeling of anxiety. It becomes your primary coping mechanism.
This is a major, major red flag. Even if it only happens once in a while, waking up and not remembering chunks of the night before is serious. It's a clear sign that alcohol is literally impairing your brain's ability to function, no matter how put together you seem the next morning.
And finally, there's the secrecy. Hiding bottles around the house, lying about how much you've had to drink, or getting really defensive if someone asks about it. That kind of behavior is a huge indicator that deep down, the person knows something's not right.
This quote just really hits the nail on the head. The whole illusion is about being in control, right? But the reality is the exact opposite. The need for a drink starts to dictate your schedule, who you hang out with, your emotional state. Alcohol ends up in the driver's seat.
The person struggling isn't the only one who's hurting, not by a long shot. For every person with functional alcoholism, there's usually a family walking on eggshells, trying to navigate the unseen costs of this disease.
For loved ones, life just turns into this constant state of anxiety. There's this emotional distance, a loneliness you feel even when you're in the same room. Trust gets completely eroded by broken promises and all the secrecy. It's just a climate of exhaustion and worry for everyone involved.
Okay, so after all that, I want to pivot to the good news, the hopeful part. Recognizing there's a problem is the first massive step, and help is absolutely available. Help that is specifically designed to fit into a busy, high-functioning life. Right here in San Jose, there's a place called New Life Recovery Centers. And they've been a trusted part of the community for over 21 years. They're also CARF-accredited, which is a big deal. It's basically the gold standard for rehabilitation facilities, so you know you're getting the absolute highest quality of care.
And they totally get the one-size-doesn't-fit-all.
They offer a whole range of programs, from medically supervised detox and immersive residential treatment to partial hospitalization programs, or PHP. But for the busy professional, this is huge. They have something called the Superflex Intensive Outpatient Program, the IOP. It's designed specifically for people who need to get help while still managing their career and their family.
Look, in a culture that's all about being strong and on top of your game, asking for help can feel like, well, like weakness. But I'm telling you, the exact opposite is true. Deciding to take back control of your health and your future, that is one of the strongest things you can ever do.
So if any of this is hitting home, if this sounds like your story or the story of someone you love, you need to know that the path to a new, better life can literally start right now.
Please don't wait for things to hit rock bottom. Getting help early dramatically improves the chances of a real, lasting recovery. It prevents so much long-term damage to your health, your career, and your relationships. It all starts with just one step.
And that first step is as simple as a phone call. The team at New Life Recovery is waiting to talk. That number is 408-297-1182.
And I want to be really clear about this. That call is totally free, and it's 100% confidential. You can talk to someone, you can understand your options, and find out what that path to recovery might look like for you, all with zero obligation and complete privacy.
Because here's the truth. A life with real clarity, genuine energy, and deep connection, it's absolutely possible. It isn't about giving up your success, it's about making it real and sustainable. Hope really does start here.